Tu B'Av Sameach, happy full moon in Aquarius. And Tu B'Av marks the beginning of the grape harvest season here in Israel. Look how beautiful these are. I picked these from a tree by my house. And it's Shemitah in Israel this year, so these are like extra holy grapes. And the sages say that Tu B'Av is one of the happiest days in the Jewish calendar, along with Yom Kippur. And Yom Kippur marks the end of the harvest season of grapes, and Tu B'Av the beginning. So here we are in the grape season, and it's also really interesting that on Tu B'Av, which is kind of like the Jewish Valentine's Day in a sense, but on Tu B'Av, the women would go out into the vineyards with their white dresses, and the men would go and meet them, and all these matches were made on that day. And the same thing used to happen on Yom Kippur. After the services in the temple in the morning, in the afternoon the women would go out in white dresses, and it was a day of partnership making. And yeah, just feeling into what that is for us coming out of Tisha B'Av, which is the saddest day in the Jewish calendar, where both temples are destroyed. That happened just a few days ago. And just imagine what that was like, having this place of worship, going to serve God, and then that place is utterly destroyed and we're sent into exile. It's almost this feeling of being like rejected by God, feeling like, oh my God, is God oh my God, is God angry with me, rejecting me? We read the book of Lamentations on Tisha B'Av, called Eicha, and if you look at the word Eicha, it in Hebrew it means how, like how did this happen? It's like this real emunah crisis, this real crisis of trust. And the same word Eicha also is ayeka, and that is the word that God says once Adam and Eve have eaten the fruit from the tree of knowledge, the tree of good and evil, and God says ayeka, like, where are you? And in both cases we're sent into exile. In the garden we're sent into exile from Gan Eden, the garden of Eden, the garden of softness, of gentleness, of balance. And when the temples are destroyed, we're sent into exile from the land. And then we come into Tu B'Av, where all these things happen to indicate that there's a path of reunification, a path of hope of renewal. And we can see that once we've eaten from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, that marks the beginning of the distortion of what it means to be in relationship with God, and therefore also what it is to be in relationship with other human beings, with other creation, with all of creation. And then comes Yom Kippur as this holy day of atonement, of deep forgiveness, of purification and cleansing, and returning to that deep oneness, the day of atonement, at-one-ment. And the sages say also that the day itself Yom Kippur is the healing. And that, yeah, there was all these things that we had to do in the temple, but actually it was also the day itself that brought us the cleansing. It's like a mikveh, like immersing oneself in a body of water, and you just like come out feeling different and clean. And it's like the day itself is like a mikveh that you just go in and then you come out on the other side feeling cleansed. And so Tu B'Av starts tonight on Shabbat as the sun sets, and may the day itself be a cleansing for us, that we may come into deeper at-one-ment and deeper knowing of what it is to be in that direct relationship and partnership with the Creator. Shabbat Shalom.